Carney under fire. Debate scandal sparks outrage across Canada. Canada's 2025 federal election campaign has been thrown into turmoil following the French-language leaders' debate, where Prime Minister Mark Carney faced mounting accusations of cheating and dodging accountability. What was supposed to be a showcase of leadership turned into a flashpoint of controversy, leaving Canadians questioning the fairness of the electoral process and the integrity of its key players. The heart of the storm was Mark Carney's awkward and suspicious performance. Throughout the debate, viewers picked up on his unnatural pauses and repeated ear-touching, fueling rampant speculation that he was wearing an earpiece. While unconfirmed, the theory that Carney may have been receiving real-time coaching during the debate struck a nerve with voters already uneasy about transparency in Ottawa. Critics quickly labeled the debate a staged performance, one that allowed Carney to parrot polished, pre-fed lines instead of genuinely engaging with the tough issues. His scripted delivery became even more obvious when spontaneous questions came his way. The moment that stood out, now spreading widely on social media, was when Carney was asked a simple, culturally loaded question. How many genders are there? Gone was the confident posture and rehearsed fluency. What followed were long pauses, fumbling, and a flurry of ums and uhs. It was as if the earpiece had gone silent, and the real Carney was left exposed. Many Canadians interpreted this not only as a lack of authenticity, but as a telling sign that his campaign was overly reliant on image and spin. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre emerged from the debate with renewed momentum. He handled the format with steady confidence, even when faced with blatant interruptions and moments where his microphone was inexplicably cut off. Unlike Carney, Poilievre didn't falter or hide behind carefully prepped lines. He addressed the issues directly and forcefully. Whether it was the rising cost of living, uncontrolled immigration, or the growing national unity crisis, Poilievre showed up prepared, calm, and in control. For many viewers, this performance confirmed what they already felt. Poilievre is ready to lead, and he's not afraid to speak the hard truths that others avoid. Adding fuel to the fire was NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, who managed to turn in perhaps the most emotionally charged performance of the night, but not in a good way. Midway through the debate, Singh erupted into what many described as a tantrum. And when faced with questions from Rebel News, he outright refused to answer, especially on the topic of rising anti-Christian hate crimes across Canada. This refusal comes as over 200 Christian churches have been vandalized, torched, or desecrated since 2021, yet Singh had nothing to say. That silence has not gone unnoticed. For a leader who so often speaks about inclusivity and justice, the selective silence is starting to sound a lot like complicity. But the debate itself wasn't the only scandal. Immediately afterward, the mainstream media began spinning the narrative in Carney's favor. The CBC was particularly quick to frame him as the clear winner, despite the awkwardness, evasiveness, and allegations surrounding his performance. This rush to defend Carney has further exposed the media's deep-rooted bias. The way they framed the event compared to what Canadians actually saw has left many feeling gaslight. What was presented as a victory looked to much of the country like a staged play with a predetermined script, and viewers aren't buying it. Things only got worse for Carney after the debate, when independent journalist Kian Bixie confronted him directly. Bixie asked about Carney's inner circle, particularly the troubling revelation that Trudeau's former public safety advisor, who authorized the prison transfer of serial killer Paul Bernardo, is now working as Carney's chief of staff. Instead of answering, Carney dodged the question entirely, offering up more of the same vague political platitudes. For voters who are demanding answers, this refusal to address such serious ethical concerns only deepens suspicions about what's really going on behind the curtain. One of the most contentious issues surrounding the debate wasn't even on stage, it was who was kept off it. Maxime Bernier, leader of the People's Party of Canada, was barred from participating despite the party's growing support and significant online traction. Many Canadians, especially those tired of the status quo, believe Bernier's exclusion was deliberate and undemocratic. His absence robbed the event of diverse political viewpoints and robbed voters of a full, honest spectrum of ideas. Whether or not you agree with Bernier, Shutting out voices in a democracy is a dangerous precedent. This frustration is boiling over in regions like Alberta, where the feeling of being ignored by Ottawa is turning into something deeper and more dangerous. The exclusion, the perceived bias, the lack of accountability, it's all feeding into rising separatist sentiment. People feel the system is rigged, and unless they start seeing fairness and representation, the talk of separation will only intensify. That's why this election is more than just another political contest. It's a turning point. Poilievre's message resonates especially strong here. He's speaking directly to those who feel abandoned by the government, by the media, and by the political elite. While others duck, deflect, and dodge, he's tackling the hard questions head-on. That leadership style stands in stark contrast to the controlled, consultant-heavy campaign Carney is running. Canadians aren't just looking for someone who can memorize lines. They're looking for someone who will stand up for them. The French language debate was meant to showcase Canada's leadership contenders. Instead, it laid bare the political manipulation, media favoritism, and ethical rot that Canadians have grown sick of. Carney's performance, and the machinery protecting it, only confirmed the worst fears of those who already doubted the direction of this government. As the election campaign rolls forward, voters are watching more closely than ever. They're no longer just listening to what leaders say, they're paying attention to how they say it, how they behave when they're under pressure, and whether their actions line up with their words. For many, this debate was the moment the mask slipped. And what they saw behind it was more of the same liberal arrogance and elitism that they're ready to reject. The upcoming English language debate is the next major milestone. If the same antics play out, earpieces, media spin, evasive answers, it may be the final straw for many undecided voters. Canadians want truth. They want accountability. They want leaders who respect their intelligence, not those who rely on rehearsed lines and media cover. This election isn't just about policies, it's about trust. And right now, that trust is wearing thin.